How many build videos are there on YouTube? A couple thousand? Screw it, let's add one. This is Dustin with Rabid Bits, coming at you with a how to build a computer video. You know, another one to the thousands that there are online. I'm gonna be brutally honest, I'm probably not gonna bring anything new to the table, other than, again, how to build a computer. So let's go ahead and go over the parts. Let's start from square one. Motherboard, Asus Tough Gaming X570 Plus. In a previous video, you heard me talking about this and how X570s come out of the box hot. So we'll get to tune that after we build it. Going in it is a Ryzen 7 3700X, 16 gigs, G.Skill Ripjaws V. What speed are you? 3200. Perfect. 1 terabyte inland premium NVMe, RTX 2080 Super, EVGA 750 watt power supply, going into a Corsair 275R. Should be a pretty clean, pretty simple and straightforward build. Not that much to wire up at all. I mean, we got no hard drives to wire or anything like that. I love NVMe storage because it just slides right in. But let's go ahead and dive in, walk you through how to build a computer. Well, first we start off with the motherboard. Gotta do a little unboxing. Hopefully I'm decent at unboxings. Let's get the motherboard out of there. Down here we got manuals and stickers. Hey, get back here. SATA cable, M.2 stuff, and I/O port. Oh, quit it. Wireless adapter we'll keep out. Back in there. Get it ready. And a motherboard. We'll go ahead and start on this side. And there's step one. Let's go ahead, jump on over here, and do the great unboxing of the processor. Come on. Okay. So after you get motherboard out and set up, the next step is put the processor in. Cooler can wait. All you got to do with the AM4 platform is lift this little bar up right here. Now when you get your CPU out of the package, there's going to be this little triangle right here, and it will reflect it onto the other side. There's a little triangle down here as well that you're going to want to line it up for, but for point of reference, so far all Ryzens have gone the same way. Just like that. And then all you got to do after it sinks down in there is close that. Nice and satisfying. Next we got RAM. So you can see that there's two different colors on these guys. You'll have to refer to your motherboard manual. Some of them, your bank one is going to be these black ones. Some of them it's going to be these gray ones here. Your colors are going to differ depending on the motherboard manufacturer. In the case of this one, it is gray. So you just open up, again in this case, just that one side. These guys down here are stationary. And you just slide her on down until you get click, click. No click there. Same here. Click. No click, but it's in. They're not going anywhere. And your RAM's installed. It's that easy. I have had my mic on, right? Okay. YouTube issues. Next, we're going to install the M.2. Now, this board has two M.2 drives. First one is open up here, and you can see these multiple little screw holes up there. That is where you're going to put your standoff, and then the M.2, and then screw it down. Next one is underneath this little heat shield down here. With PCI Gen 3 NVMe's, they really don't output so much heat versus the Gen 4s. Gen 4s do need heat shields and heat sinks and things like that. Your Gen 3 typically does not. Now, when you look at these slots up here, you're going to see a bunch of different numbers. You've got 2242, 2260, 2280, 22110. So your NVMe hard drives are typically a 2280. So you're going to thread your little standoff into the 2280 spot. Give it a little snuggie. Then we got our NVMe, which just slides right in there. Nice satisfying little shink. And then it'll bolt down there. So we'll take a tiny little screwdriver and thread it down. Doesn't have to be super tight, and you have 1 terabyte's worth of NVMe installed. Next, we got big old honkin' cooler. With the AM4 platform, you're going to have these two little plastic clips on the side. They're going to coincide with these two brackets here. Easiest way I have ever found to do these guys: get side 1 clipped on, set her down, clip side 2 down, and then there's a lever on the upside here. It's going to feel like you're breaking it, but it is now installed and going nowhere. Now you just got to plug your CPU cooler in right here, as you can see on the motherboard. Probably not, because that is really tiny lettering, and yeah. This is your CPU fan. This is your CPU optional. This is an RGB header. We don't talk about RGB. All you got to do is ta-da, and then do some preliminary wire tucking, and your CPU cooler is installed. So the next step in getting a build into a computer is to prepare the chassis. This is a nice mid-tower case. As you can see, the standoffs are already in, so that takes a lot of work out of us. Next step's going to be pre-cable managing, getting the power supply in, getting everything that we need to go ready to go, and just making our life putting it in a lot easier. I/O shield. Kind of need it. Let's put it in. Don't be aggressive with it, but show it who's boss. Just a bunch happy little presses. Make sure she's in all the way around. Done. Next up, now that we got the case all cleaned up, we got the I/O shield on, let's go ahead and get the power supply in. Now, I went ahead and pre-wired it with everything that we're going to need. 2 VGAs for the 2080 Super, motherboard power, CPU supplemental power. No peripheral, no SATA. This also has a spot to run a second graphics card if you so incline. So now we're just going to take this unnecessary bundle of wires This is where we start to run into issues. And we are in luck with this build. So let's go ahead. Sure, we'll set you there. And see these 4 screws down here? This is not going to have a SATA drive anytime soon, or at least a 3.5. And our drive cage is actually in the way from, or our drive cage is in the way of our power supply. So let's go ahead and get it out of there. And the drive cage is out. So now we just slide her on in. Get her all nice and lined up in there somewhere. Right there. And she gets screwed down. That easy. And now we get to put our motherboard in, which with a case like this is super easy. There's so much room. Some cases there's less room. Other cases there's actually a protruding standoff that will be right on that middle pin. This one does not come with that, but that is not an issue. That protruding standoff is simply an alignment piece. That's all it is. Now we're going to bolt her down and start installing all the other things. Honestly, we're pretty much ready to go. I'm going to get the wiring all tidied up, get it all wired together, ready to go. Next step is GPU and install Windows. There's not much more to go. It's really not that hard to build a computer these days. But let's go ahead and get to the wiring. Be good to go. GPU. The last step in building a computer. Outside of the obvious stuff like installing Windows, but yeah, we don't count that. Now we just gotta put her in. I already took out your expansion slots. You just push that down. Come on in. And press until you get that nice, satisfying. There's no clicks on this motherboard. RAM didn't click, that didn't click. But it's all in. Clicks are satisfying. But it's in. Now we just gotta bolt it down and wire it up. And time to boot her up. And she's done. It's just as easy as that. I'd walk you through installing Windows, but there's nothing impressive about that. Let's face it, we only use Windows because there's nothing better. Anyway, yeah, she is all done. Windows is installed, drivers are installed, wiring's all buttoned up. I'd call it a good build. This is Dustin with Rabid Bits. Catch you guys in the next one. See ya.